Lieutenant Richard Pedrini has been back on the police force since April. Still, there are some residents who feel justice was not served in wake of his questionable rants. They want answers, and this week the town manager clearly lays out his reasons for the disciplinary actions he took. Having trouble getting from point A to point B via Mill Street? You're not alone. We'll give you the latest on why work is being done now and when this stretch of road finally gets the all clear. And if patience is a virtue, this artist clearly reigns victorious. Anna Tai brings her colorful dreams to Arlington by spinning a beautiful yarn and unleashing her fantastic imagination.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered. We're your neighbors, a friend you can turn to. This is ACMi News.
Town Manager Adam Chapdelaine released a letter this week giving the public more details on how the town dealt with the case of Lieutenant Richard Pedrini. Hello, I'm James Milan.
And I'm Paul Werlin. You may have heard of restorative justice, where, among other things, victims get to meet with the offender to seek some sort of reconciliation. Chapdelaine's letter comes after some town residents were highly critical of the restorative justice route, instead of just firing the police officer outright.
In this exclusive on-camera interview, ACMi's Jeff Barnt talked with the town manager, who laid out his compelling case for deciding on restorative justice.
The town manager's open letter, released to the public earlier this week, addressed the efforts to restore trust in the Arlington Police Department in wake of Lieutenant Richard Pedrini's writings in a police periodical in 2018. It all started last October in the Massachusetts Police Association's magazine, The Sentinel. Pedrini wrote, among other things, "Let's stop lip-syncing, please. Let's beat violence with violence and get the job done." Adam Chapdelaine says even though the lieutenant has been back on the force since April the 14th after successfully completing the restorative justice process, the town manager felt compelled to give the public an update.
I had people coming to me really expressing a desire for there to be more information in the community. There's a petition going around town expressing concern about the matter and Lieutenant Pedrini. So the combination of those things pushed me towards feeling like I needed to share more with the community about the process than what we had shared back in March and April. And that's ultimately the impetus for putting the letter together.
In the letter, Chapdelaine relayed his concerns about the legal process in such cases like an outright firing, mainly the right of public sector employees to take disputes about discipline to a third-party arbitrator, and that Chapdelaine explains, "I came to the conclusion that there was a significant risk that a termination would not be upheld by a third-party arbitrator. This risk, in my opinion, created a path to what I believe would have been the worst-case scenario for the town, a terminated police lieutenant being returned to work by an arbitrator's decision, both vindicated and non-repentant, and a community left without an opportunity to heal." Instead, in this letter, Adam Chapdelaine outlines how town leaders carefully chose to employ the restorative justice process with Lieutenant Pedrini. Chapdelaine says it was a chance for him to tackle this very sensitive issue head-on, requiring Lieutenant Pedrini to face those representatives of those communities who he harmed with his words. It would also open up a broader dialogue about race and policing as a whole. It would certainly be a novel use of the restorative justice process. Clearly, in this case, Arlington would be breaking new ground.
Right from the start, this has been a very challenging issue. From the day that his writings became public and I learned about them, I knew that there was really going to be no good way out of this, or no way where everybody would be happy, which is the reality of the world sometimes, especially in complicated matters of employment and law. So, yeah, I suppose I'm not surprised. I mean, I think people's concerns are valid. What he wrote was completely unacceptable, so I don't dismiss any concerns at all. I think where there may be some disagreements in the community is about the path that we followed.
Chapdelaine tells me that the town chose a restorative justice process that was well thought out. He readily admits it's not perfect, but given the extraordinary circumstances surrounding this particular case, this was the best path to take for this town to get through this ugly period. He says it's a procedure that he believes in, and quite obviously, it's a process that the Arlington police force stakes its own reputation on.
At this point, I certainly have no intention of backing out of it. We went through the process. Lieutenant Pedrini served, his time, so to speak, as part of the restorative agreement. The remaining steps to be taken are further engagement with the community, which we outlined in the letter. We're very willing to do and understand that is important for us to do. And frankly, it's engagement that even if this had never happened, we should be doing with the community.
To date, Lieutenant Pedrini has issued a public apology and served his suspension. Still, there are some residents here who are not too happy with the method that Adam Chapdelaine and town leaders chose to employ. Chapdelaine says he understands that and looks forward to more dialogue in what has been a very trying few months for all the parties involved. Still, Lieutenant Pedrini, after successfully facing the music, is back on the force.
As far as I'm concerned, on the employment matter, the case is closed. On the community dialogue, case is very much open. But on his status and his employment, that is a case closed.
For ACMi News, I'm Jeff Barndt.
Chapdelaine says he stands by the restorative justice principle that no one should be judged simply by their worst act or their worst day.
Meantime, Arlington police officers are putting other aspects of the restorative justice plan into play as they try maintaining the public trust. One way to do that is to open a dialogue with as many residents as possible. ACMi's reporter Brenda Mahoney says that's exactly what police officers were doing in the Heights, with a smile, a handshake, and a hot cup of joe.
Arlington police started Coffee with a Cop a couple of years ago. It's a nationwide effort. They say having the events like this one at Starbucks in Arlington Heights is an opportunity for them to get to know the community and the community to get to know them. From street officers and animal control to the chief of police, the Arlington men and women in blue took the opportunity to chat up residents.
Smiling faces, people enjoying coffee, good conversation between the offices. A lot of people ask questions about things that are happening in their neighborhoods.
We got to have coffee with the entire police force this morning, which is awesome.
The casual coffee shop setting allowing for a free flow of conversation and a chance for residents to learn a little bit about the person behind the badge.
Give me a high five. How about right now? We'll do a practice one right now. Perfect.
All right.
It was great meeting you.
So it's a great opportunity to meet the people in the community, and it's a great chance for people to see us, not just as police officers and not just responding to a call at their house or a critical incident, but just a chance to meet the police officer and understand that we're people too.
Gwen Wong came to the meet and greet knowing about the controversy surrounding Lieutenant Rick Pedrini's comments over the use of officer force in a police magazine, which he since apologized for. She's thankful for the protective role these civil servants take on each day.
They're our law enforcement. They are partners in our community with us. They do things I could never do. I could never carry a weapon. I rely on them to protect me. I rely on them to keep us safe in the neighborhood and everywhere we go in town.
Officers say this is the best part of the job, interacting with the public, grown-ups, and the pint-sized. Parent Jessica Webb excited to learn there are many women on the force and hopes this kind of interaction and appreciation carries on.
And to see so many women on the force, when usually I'm pointing out and looking for my son, it's police officer, right? It's not policeman, and it's not a fireman, it's a firefighter. And now I don't have to try so hard. We could just see that these are people trying to protect us, which is pretty cool for him, and I think super cool for her.
Chief Flaherty says to follow their Twitter and Facebook page to find out what's happening with the Arlington Police Department and the next community event near you. Brenda Mahoney, ACMi News.
The Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority says it will shut down sections of the T this fall to make crucial repairs. Of course, many Arlington residents depend on the Red Line to get to and from school or work, and this latest news just adds to the frustration already plaguing the beleaguered transit system. Recent rate hikes and derailments are not helping the matter either. You'll recall 2 weeks ago, the MBTA released disturbing video of that Red Line derailment on June 11th. No injuries were reported, but this setback has been very symbolic of the problems the MBTA has been dealing with. One state lawmaker says the transit system must address questionable management decisions of late. And the state has to get real with generating some serious revenue to get the T up and running again.
To really solve the problems with the MBTA, you're going to need significant new revenue. And that's because the term of art used in the transportation world is state of good repair. And that means simply taking the switches, the track, the tunnel, the parts that, frankly, the public doesn't see, the engineering, the infrastructure, to get it to a operational, fully functioning operational level, fix any defects, is about $10 billion. So there's a state of good repair deficit of about $10 billion. And that's not to expand. There's a lot of ideas kicking around in the state to expand our infrastructure and our public transportation. Putting to one side any movement to expand public transportation, just to get our current system up to a state of good repair is a lot of money.
Despite the governor announcing that transportation officials are speeding up planned work to improve the system faster, Representative Rogers says we will never solve the problem without generating significant revenue and employing outstanding project managers to tackle the changes the MBTA desperately needs. To see my interview with Representative Rogers in its entirety, just go to acmi.tv and click Talk of the Town.
If you use Mill Street to get to work or to just get around, you'll notice it takes you just a bit longer to get to your destination. And at times, it can try your patience. But as ACMi News intern Michael Cerullo found out, it's better to patch things up now before inconvenient traffic jams can turn to completely frustrating gridlock.
Construction on Mill Street is now underway, with crews working to replace the water main that runs under the street. The project was originally slated to begin in late June, but scheduling conflicts with the contractor delayed the project's start to early August. We spoke with the town manager about the project last month.
Mill Street's really had a rough go over the past couple of years. We've replaced gas mains, or the gas companies replaced gas mains, and now we need to get in there and do the water main work. The good news is, once we do the water main work, we'll be able to resurface the road, and Mill Street will be in a much better condition than it's been for the last couple of years. But you're right, the water main has reached its useful life. It's part of our water main replacement program that we're doing across town, and hopefully over the course of the next 3 months or so, we'll be doing that project. There will be some inconvenience for commuters, but once that's done, again, hopefully we'll be in a much better shape than we are right now.
Only one lane of traffic will remain open during construction on Mill Street, allowing drivers to access Mill Street from Massachusetts Avenue, but not the other way around. Police are in place to make sure that everything runs smoothly, and the bike path will be open throughout construction. For ACMi News, I'm Mike Cerullo.
Michael talked to Assistant Town Engineer Bill Coppathorne, who says night shift road work is a distinct possibility, since the project will now go into September. Town leaders say scheduling conflicts with contractors delayed the project's start date. We all know Arlington has among the best restaurants in the state.
Which is why, for the past year, many town residents have been asking about one particular restaurant that was forced to close after sustaining heavy fire damage.
So when will Shanghai Village reopen? We have some surprises for you. It may take some more time, and there may be a few changes. We'll give you the scoop on where things stand tonight. And Arlington is awash with fantastic art. From transformer boxes along Mass Ave to the Uncle Sam statue, we captured some creative artisans who let their dreams roam free this week. That and more when we come back.
Come and enjoy local Boston musicians here at ACMi Studio B sessions. Every Monday at 6 p.m., we invite you to be part of our crew or audience to experience the variety of local musical talent right here at Studio B. No experience is needed, just your enthusiasm. Studio B is located at 892 Mass Ave in Arlington, opposite Arlington High School. Call 781-777-1115 or email info@acmi.tv to learn more. Hope to see you there. Rock on, Arlington.
Some good news on Arlington's business front. Shanghai Village, the popular Chinese restaurant at 434 Mass Ave, has been closed since a blaze broke out more than a year ago. But according to Economic Development Coordinator Allie Carter, the restaurant will reopen. The question is when. You may recall the grease fire broke out in the kitchen area, which caused major damage. Since the eatery has been closed for 14 months, many people speculated the restaurant would not be making a comeback. But town leaders say substantial progress to reopen is being made, and you can expect the restaurant to undergo some changes, after the restaurant owner went before the select board this week.
We have a doing business as name change, all alcohol license, Shanghai Village Asian Cuisine, 434 Mass Ave, Andy Leon. I can't tell you how many calls and emails I got saying, is Shanghai opening soon? So I'm not sure if Andy Leon is here or a representative. If you can just come up, say your name and...
Yeah, my name is David. I'm president for the Shanghai Village restaurant for changing the name.
Okay. First, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Quiro, seconded by?
Second.
Mr. DeCoursey. Any announcement you want to make? You don't have to?
No.
Nope, that's fine. You're getting everything in order in a
Yeah.
row, so we appreciate that. On a motion by Mr. Quiro, seconded by Mr. DeCoursey, any questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed, unanimous vote.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
The restaurant owners are reportedly working with several government bodies like the Board of Health and dealing with insurance issues, which can take some time.
The art of transforming Arlington's transformers continues along Mass Ave. Earlier this week, we found Molly Scannell painting the transformer in front of the Kickstand Cafe. Scannell submitted 3 designs to officials at Arlington Public Art, the Commission for Arts and Culture, and members of the business community. And her design, which marries geometric shapes with nature, was accepted. The theme this year is motion. A stipend of $300 was awarded for each artist chosen.
I'm painting some organic peonies, and then I've taken a bunch of geometric squares and triangles and sort of created some movement through those. And I like the hardness of the geometric pattern on top of the organic shapes of the peonies. It's pleasing to me. It's all through the Arlington Public Arts Initiative that Arlington's doing, so I feel very lucky and fortunate to have a space in Arlington that people are doing that. And I know that Kickstand Cafe fronted the transformer box and the money to paint it, however that works, so I'm super grateful for Kickstand too.
This year's art project adds to more than a dozen original paintings on boxes that were previously commissioned. And just down the street from Molly, Arlington's International Film Festival was celebrating art at Uncle Sam Plaza this week.
And what this artist can do is nothing short of amazing. Anna Tai emigrated from Vietnam and brought her undying passion for meticulous embroidery with her. Anna tells us that she dreams of designs in her head and applies it to her work. Unlike other similar works like this, Anna layers the yarn and blends the colors as if they were a painting. Many of her colorful works feature tranquil and absolutely beautiful idyllic scenes from the Far East. Not only does this exhibition feature marvelous craftsmanship, it also celebrates the true spirit of tolerance.
I never draw before. I want to embroider, and then after that I just put down the first layer, and then after that I'm thinking in my mind what I want to put down. So that's why you can see all the flower and the houses, everything here. I create this in my mind. To me, life is just like a picture. So you know what I put it down on my embroider right now, that you can see that's how my life went through. I have a very happy life, and then everything is just like what as you can see in the picture right now. That's why you can see all my work is a lot of flower and everything. So that is exactly that the telling that is I wish everybody have a very beautiful and happy life.
It's really good, but and from a distance I thought that one over there was a painting, not weaving or sewing or embroidery or whatever it is.
The reason why we're doing this is to promote the festival, the Arlington International Film Festival, which is we are in our 9th year of production, and also to bring diversity into the town, and to celebrate the arts. Arlington Film Festival is more than a film, it's a celebration of the arts.
I am very happy that I have a lot of admirers that is people told me when they buy my products, and then also they look what I'm doing. Most of the people, they told me that is they can see how beautiful my work is, and then how live is this. When they look at the at my embroider, and then it looks like it's real. It's real.
Anna Tai's works will be exhibited at Arlington Center for the Arts next month. An opening reception for Embroidery Dreams is set for Thursday, September 19th. And of course, don't miss the Arlington International Film Festival, November 7th through the 10th at the Capitol Theater.
That'll do it for us here in Studio A. I'm Paul Werlin.
And I'm James Milan. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMi Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.